Yo, what's going on, guys and girls? Let's continue this firearm series as we talked about last time. If you didn't go watch it. This is gonna dive more into the skills and some things that I learned that I didn't get off YouTube when I was learning how to be a firearms instructor. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, everybody, let's talk about the next steps from just getting your certification to a couple of things that I learned creating my firearms business as a solo business owner and doing this on my own. Right? One thing I did immediately was, okay, well, I need to create a way for them to pay me. After creating an LLC and getting all that business structure done and doing the research on that, go do your own research. I'm not an expert on that, so I won't tell you how to do it. But one of the things I did was create a website. Before I created this website, I wanted to look at my competitors, aka who else is teaching firearms training. As I got the firearms training stuff down and I was looking at their websites, I was trying to see as a customer how I would feel trying to purchase a service. Thinking analytically here, does their website make me want to buy something? Does their website convince me to purchase something from them? Does it instill a sense of trust that if I buy from this website, they're not going to steal my information or I'm going to be gypped in any way, shape, or form? Right? When you create your website platform, you can pick from a multitude of different ones based off the features that you want, and I'll be open and honest with what we use at Dropzone Tactical, and by we, I mean me, because I'm the only one doing it, is Wix. So I like their platform, something that I started out with and I'm continuing to use now. I like what they have. You can use whatever you want. There are a lot of great websites out there. I know other business owners that are firearms instructors that use different platforms than me, so don't think that you just need to use that. In my website, I took the information that I gathered looking at other competitors, if you will, to create my website. Now, yours may be different than mine, but in my area, a couple of things that I noticed was they seemed kind of lackluster. They were kind of bland. They were kind of hard to understand if I was a new shooter, and they didn't give me a sense of confidence or information to, in a sense, sway me if I've never been put in a situation to get firearm shooting before. Think about your spouse. If you're a male or a female and your spouse doesn't understand firearms training yet, can your website convince them of that alone? Something that I thought about, something that you may want to think about. Next is creating your services, right? Depending on the organization that you went through to get certified to become an instructor, you can either teach their curriculum or mix it, do a hybrid of theirs and yours, or create yours alone. Sorry, my dogs are whining. Or create yours alone because you have a certificate to teach, right? Do you know a tactic that doesn't necessarily have an instructor certificate that you can get, but you want to teach it anyways? Teach that. Make yourself stand out from other instructors, right? Something that I do, I'll do a hybrid class in some of them, and some of them I'll do my own curriculum that I've created over the years and training, all that stuff, right? And the reason I say to do a blend of hybrid, or the reason I say that I do a blend of hybrid or my own stuff rather than just the basic course curriculum, though I do them in sparing occasions because moments arise. I do it that way because it sets me out. It sets me apart from my competitors, from my peers, teaching something that they're not doing. It allows me to justify my price, and it allows me to have an advantage over somebody else, over another business. Right? Now, I don't care if they go and train with other businesses, and I even push some students away to train with other people. And I'll get into that a little bit later. Maybe in this video or the next one. I don't know yet. But nonetheless, the idea here is to get the training validated through pricing, right? Because now we're going to go into the next topic, which I talk about pricing your classes. So, in my general area, a lot of the classes that I see are a lot lower than what I offer. And I knew this starting off. I knew my confidence level was going to be low. And Just like most business owners, I lowered the price and kept the value high. Luckily, I was able to meet a few people to help me in the business side, and over time I realized that when you price higher, more people come versus free or low pricing in general. Also, if you sell a low product, you're gonna get, for the lack of better terms, cheap people, right? They're buying a cheap service, so you're going to get people that want something cheap versus those that would rather pay more money for higher quality training, if that makes sense. Right? You don't typically see people that drive really expensive cars only shopping at low-end prices, because money's typically not an issue for them, so they don't really care, and they would rather buy higher quality stuff than lower quality stuff just due to longevity, popularity, whatever, right? Why do you buy expensive stuff? The same reasons why they would, right? So, also, with that being said, you want to make a living off of it, and it shouldn't be a race to the bottom. I briefly talked about this in the last video, so I won't dive too heavy into it. Make sure when you talk about pricing, it kind of makes you feel a little uncomfortable. When you tell people, my rifle class is $1,000 for one person, it should make you feel, feels a little high. But say, hey, it's $1,000. It is what it is, kind of thing, right? Be firm with it. If you're like, hey, whoa, why is it so expensive when I can go down the street for $100? You don't want to immediately submit and be like, well, I can do it for $150. It's a dramatic drop. Then if you do it for one person, where's it going to get out? You're going to do it for somebody else, and then your whole business structure just fails, right? But also be confident in what you teach. Don't just try to jip people, because word also will get out, and students will get upset, and if they don't feel like they get their money's worth, you're going to be dealing with these arguments for people. Next topic is communication. When you teach, you might be unconfident in the beginning, speaking in front of people. Get good at public speaking. I've done this, and I still do this today, is I research communication techniques on YouTube. There are better people that can speak than I can. In this video, you may have picked up on me saying a few times. We want to get away from saying that because it decredits what you say as a subject matter expert, which is why they're coming to you as an instructor. Communication techniques is very important because they're starting at whatever place they are, and they might not even know where, so you can ask them, hey, where are you starting? They're like, what are you talking about? So you have to figure out by speaking to them where they are and how they learn. Everybody learns in a different way. You may learn from reading, somebody else may learn from doing, somebody else may be learning by watching. A lot of different ways that people can learn, and you need to be able to pick up on that because your student might not be able to. And then communicate it well enough, demonstrate it well enough to get them to the end goal, aka where you're ultimately at or where you want them to go, the end goal. Now, throw in a little caveat here. What if you're teaching a big class and not a one-on-one session? All these students learn a different way. So how can you communicate, how can you present, and how can you deliver your message in different ways that all of them will understand and all of them will get? Another caveat. What if they're having issues on the range? How do you speak to them? How do you handle the safety violations that they just did because they're new shooters and not necessarily because they're being negligent? How do you deal with that? How do you approach it? How do you speak to them? Things to think about when you start communicating, right? And lastly, very lastly, let's kind of close this out here. Going into your business structure as a firearms instructor, there's continued education. I can't stress this enough, and I talked about this in the last video. Continue to grow, continue to speak, continue to learn, because there's always something new to learn, even as a business owner, if you want to bring more people on your team, right? How do you make the best value for people that do not understand why they need a firearm? You're going to get questions that all of us get as instructors. Why do I need a firearm? Why should I go and do this? And you might get students that come in for one class and never return. How do we combat these situations? And I'm not going to give you all the tools here, but I'm giving you some things to think about that I wasn't given when I started this journey. Think about how you want to structure it. Think about the creativeness, because your demographic is going to be different from mine. Your teaching method is going to be different from mine. So unfortunately, I can't give you the answer to everything. And this is still a journey for me as well as I grow my own business. Think about how you want to do it. Think about some incentives that you can do to bring people in, retain them, bring people in, train them, and over-deliver on your classes that should value or be a little bit above value than what you're doing, and then over deliver at the end so you can justify the price and then retain them and keep them coming back. Again, I told you in the last video, I structure my business on the personal trainers / martial arts studio so we can develop that reoccurring pattern. Whether you want to do monthly memberships, whether you want to have a public ranch, whatever the case may be, get creative, think outside the box, take every pricing into consideration. If you don't know how to price, one thing that you can do, and this is the final tip here, is to reverse engineer it. Think about all the expenses, and then think about what you want to charge. How much is it going to cost you? How much do you want to get paid? How much is left over for the student to pay for? Price it that way. What is it to break even? What is it to profit? And how fast? If you're taking out a loan, I'm not going to tell you how to do that, but if you take out a loan, something that I've learned from a business mentor is how fast can you break even? Then, after that, how fast can you become profitable? Some things to think about. So I'm going to close out here. I don't want to make this video too long because I can talk about it for a little while. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll get to it as quickly as I can. I'm pretty responsive on YouTube, even though I don't make videos all the time. I want to make sure I give you guys good content. If you enjoyed it, leave a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Share with anybody you think would benefit from it, and hopefully these videos keep helping you. If you have any topics you want me to talk about, if I have the knowledge for it, I will definitely get to it, and I'll let you know down below that, hey, it's on my list, I'll add it, and it could be the next video. I'll see you guys later. Keep training, and go make your community great. All right, later.